Blah. Jaws is like, it's just such a great movie. It works on so many levels. It is a horror movie. It is a monster movie. It is an adventure movie. It's also it's also very much a retelling of Moby Dick, actually. And a lot of people don't really really talk about the Moby Dick aspects. You know, some people say that Quint's speech about the USS Indianapolis in World War II, which was absolutely based on a real true story. The US Indianapolis, which was also turned into its own film featuring my guy Nicolas Cage, which I have seen. Basically, and was supposed to be the plot, was going to be the plot in Jaws 5. There was going to be a prequel, Jaws 5. They were going to do the USS Indianapolis. Quint talks about, when they're all getting to know each other, he talks about how the Indianapolis was torpedoed and they were all in the water for days, bleeding into the water, and they were just swimming with tiger sharks. And he goes something like 500 men go into the water and only come out. And it's true. It's a true story. Like just hundreds of men were eaten by sharks in the water, waiting to be picked off. And Quint tells this story and he gets really personal. The speech is written by John Milius, who also directed Conan. He co-wrote Apocalypse Now. He's a iconic filmmaker. He's part of the new Hollywood in the 70s with George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, Brian De Palma, all those guys. Milius was one of them. And Spielberg called up Milius. He's like, this scene isn't working. Can you write some war-centric dialogue? And so he did that. And then Robert Shaw, who's a playwright, he goes, this is too much. It's too long. And again, what's considered to be one of the greatest monologues ever delivered in the history of cinema, the Indianapolis speech by Robert Shaw, who did it the first time. He did it stinking drunk, and it was not good. And he begged Spielberg, can we do it one more time? He did it bone sober, and that's what's on screen, is him doing it bone sober. He was drunk the whole shoot, but he sobered up for that one thing to do it. And he talks about how when he's in the water, he made a vow that he would never get back into the water with a shark ever again, because he saw his friends get eaten. He talks about how evil sharks are. They have these black eyes like a doll or whatever. So then, of course, what happens is they hunt this great white, as they put the yellow barrels, which are supposed to drown the shark. You're bringing the shark to the surface. It gets tired. Sharks have to move all the time. If they can't move, then they drown. Not drown in water, obviously, but they asphyxiate. And so Robert Shaw Quint realizes, I'm not dealing with any normal shark here, and we're probably not going to come out of this alive. So what does he do? He smashes the radio so that they can't call for help. And he goes further out to sea, luring the shark out, knowing that he is on a death trip. And he starts singing a song that he talks about in that speech. He says, farewell, Spanish ladies. And what he's doing is he's basically, that's a sea shanty for his death. And what happens is, as Robbie knows, as anybody who's watching knows, who's seen Jaws, the shark eats him in the nastiest, most brutal way you can imagine. Just legs first, so that Quint knows he's being eaten alive by a shark, and he cuts at it with a machete, and it's no use. And there's blood coming out of his mouth, and it doesn't, that shark didn't work for shit. Shark only has 4 minutes of screen time in a 2-hour movie, Jaws, 4 minutes. And one of the most effective scenes in the world is this death of Quint. What it means from a Captain Ahab standpoint in Moby Dick, what it means for the movie, what it does, in the sort of monstrously entertaining way. Just the goat. Anything you want to add to that, Robbie?
No, it's really, it's a really crazy scene. There's 3 animals in this world that are just terrifying to think you could be eaten by. And the 3 are great white sharks, you know, any kind of real big shark, you know, tiger shark, grizzly bears,
Sure.
silverback, and not eaten but murdered.
Yeah,
Silverback
murdered.
Silverback gorillas could tear you apart in just like that with
Chimpanzees.
no effort.
Chimpanzees too.
The Travis the chimp up in Connecticut ripped off that lady's fucking face
And
with no
ate
effort.
it like a pizza. Ate it like a pizza. He did.
It's crazy.